Well, hello everybody, and a very warm welcome back to the Life's Good. What a few weeks we've had weather-wise. It's been absolutely ridiculous. Every time I had a spare moment to come out here and do something, it's been absolutely lashing with rain and quite windy. The last of the plums we had on the plum tree have been knocked off. I think I must have about half a dozen plums left on that tree now. Totally ridiculous. Not a single one of any use this year. If they hang on, they might ripen. Maybe I'll get half a dozen plums. A lot of things here running away from me. It's gone absolutely stupid. I haven't had the chance to get out. When I have been here, it's been lashing with rain, so getting on the ground and doing things outside has been a bit uncomfortable, and to be honest, I find other things to do indoors. I think we're just gonna have to pause there a moment while this aircraft goes in. Okay, so as I said, I haven't been able to get out here. There's a lot of things happening that I haven't been able to control. Parsnips on my left here, your right, they've got a lot of foliage on. I've never had parsnips with so much foliage. I've been looking down underneath. They are starting to produce some nice looking parsnips, but they're only about as thick as my thumb. I'm hoping to get them about 2 inches across at the shoulder, and at least 10 inches deep into the ground. But they won't be ready until later in the year, guys. They're yeah, winter vegetable, root vegetable. I've got some lettuce that's gone to seed. I've got beetroot that needs to come out. That's going to seed. The calabrese is hopeless this year. I've not had a single decent crown of calabrese or broccoli from that at all. My swede are coming on okay, and we've been using cabbage. I did have a few cabbage white butterflies get in there, and they've laid a few eggs, so I'm getting a few holes up here now, so I have to keep monitoring that, and if I see anything caterpillar wise or yellow eggs, I have to remove the eggs or the leaf or the caterpillars. But that's an ongoing battle with those at the moment. There's a few other things happening out here. I'll tell you what I do want to do is I want to show you these guys, because these are my runner beans, and I don't know if you can see very well on there. I might have to lift you off, but they've actually reached to the top of these canes. This one in fact has come right over, and there's another 2 foot down from the top of the cane. I might even just trail it down into this mesh, but there's quite a lot of foliage. I haven't seen any flower yet. That would be a good sign. Whether I left it a bit late to plant them, I don't know. I'm looking up here. It looks like a flower head on this one at the top here. So if I do lift you off, I'll show you that. And I'm just looking here. There's a few more here. So if we've got flower heads, then that's a good sign that we're likely to get some beans this year. But as I was about to say, I wasn't sure if I planted them a bit late, but the first ones I put in flipped me another plane. Honestly, I had to cut you there, guys. There was another aircraft coming in every 2 or 3 minutes today for some reason. They're plane after plane, so I do apologize if we get interrupted again. What I was saying was, the first batch of beans that I planted I lost. Not sure how or why they went. It could have been bird strike, it might have been rats, mice, slugs, anything. I wasn't sure. So I had to sow some more. I planted them in cells in the greenhouse, brought them on in there, carefully hardened them off, and planted them out into these containers alongside this shed. Now this second batch have done really, really well. And as I've shown you, they're just romping away up this mesh and up the poles here. And so we're looking forward to some harvest from here. Look, what I'm going to do, I'll lift you off, okay, and give you a quick sort of show around here so you can see a bit more of what I'm talking about here. Well, you should be able to see the beans from here, okay, guys. Now, if I just take you in here, if we have a look in, you can see here, oh, the leaf's in the way. Trying to get it to focus a bit better. It's a bit too close. Right there, you should be able to see that little flower head there, and that is where we hope to get some beans forming. And up on this next one up here, the light's a bit funny. I'm having a struggle today, guys. There's one there, another one further up. If we go back along here, you can see even more. These little nodules in here are the little flower heads that will produce beans at some point. There's some in here. You can just see them in there. These little heads are where the beans should form later on. So that's quite exciting. That's successful so far. Having thought I was going to lose everything, I've actually got a crop of green beans growing here today, which is pleasing to say the least. You can see the parsnips here. There's a lot of foliage on these guys. Honestly, it's thick with foliage in here. I can't quite show you what it's like inside. If I can, I'll just go in here. I'm going to try and, this is all a bit clumsy, guys, I hope you don't mind, but if I get in here, you can just see the crown there, just the edge of that parsnip there. Now, he's got a reasonable shoulder on it, so if that's 1/2, that will be about an inch across at the moment, 1.5 inches across there. So they're coming on, but as I said, I would like them to be about 2 inches across at the crown, and probably about 8 to 10 inches long in the depth it goes into the ground. Tucked away behind these guys, if I can get in. Honestly, the foliage is everywhere. I've got in here, if you remember, I put a pathway, and that pathway goes straight across there, and you can't see it because there's so much leaf and growth here, unbelievable. So if I just lift the stems out the way, we can get in here. I've got sorrel hanging in the way here. Down in amongst here, I've got carrots, lots of carrots, and we've been pulling these and using these for a little while now. I'll see if I can, some of them are funny shapes, guys. Honestly, if I get that one out, yeah, you can just see that one. That's a small one. He's got an extra bit on the side there. I'm not sure what's going on here. I think because I've manured the ground fairly late, let's try and get this one out, guys. You just get hold of the foliage near to the crown, move it around and pull it out, and there we go. I've got a small one there. I've got a reasonable sized carrot there. That'll be nice with some dinner. We don't mind them too small. Don't want them to get too big, but they're still here. They're growing all the time. They're expanding all the time. But well, as I was saying, the manuring a bit late in the year. If you grow carrots in freshly manured ground, you are likely to get these misshaped or forked types or carrots growing. They split into 1, 2 or even 3 roots going down. It's a bit strange. I'm not sure why the manure should cause them to do that. My father used to say sometimes if they were growing down, they hit a stone, they might split. I'm not sure that's entirely true. I think they would have gone around a stone. But apparently manure, fresh manure, will cause your carrots to split into more than 1 root or tap root, which is very interesting. Now, if I can, I'm going to just try and put these somewhere safe. I'll put them on the edge of the netting there, guys, and I'm going to go back here and I'm going to see what we've got in amongst the beetroot. Now then, there's all sorts in here. They're good size. Now you see here, now these, a lot of these are ready for pulling now, guys. That one there, I'm just going to twist him out because that's a good little size. Here we go. That's a good size to boil and pickle, as well as boil and have with your dinner. We do like hot beetroot, but I'm also wanting to preserve some of these in vinegar to use during the winter. And there's quite a few this size, and there's quite a few a lot bigger. But if you look on this foliage, if I can get it around so you can see, look at this, it's all gone to flower. It's all on here, it's all run up to flower. I've not had that before so quick. It's all just bolted away. And guess what, guys, we got another one of these aircraft coming in. Well, they'll all be back to work tomorrow. If you saw in a previous video, the raspberries, I showed you how to remove the old growth and keep this new growth ready for producing fruit next year. So there's some more growth here that needs to be tied in. You can see them waving around a bit. I need to tie those back. I've got a wire on the back of the fence, you can see it there, stretched across, and I just pull these canes in and tie them against that wire. It stops them being damaged during the winter, stops the wind from pulling them down, and the weight of the snow or anything else, wind, rain, you name it. It keeps them safe, keeps them upright, so that we're able to harvest the raspberries from those easily next year. Now, tucked away in behind these beetroots, guys, I've got some leeks. Now I'm getting my wires caught up here. I'll just try and get round here. There's nothing in this soil here. This is a bit of a walkway for me, but we did have the hedge of peas down here. If you remember, the hedge of peas went all the way down here from the fruit cage all the way up to where I'm standing. But tucked away here now, you can see we have leeks. And we weren't wanting to grow show leeks. I didn't want huge great leeks, masses of white stem. We just wanted some nice sized leeks that we could pull and use in soups and casseroles, stews and things, as a vegetable on their own, or in something else with another product to make a nice potato and leek soup or stew. Yeah, but these are ideal. They were multi-sown. I put several seeds in one tray, and as you can see, you've got sort of like 1, 2, 3, 4 in that clump there. And I would just pull one of these out, just twist and pull, take it out. They only go in about 2 inches. And this stem up to the leaves, just up to here, we can use all of that in our food, which is great. Nice fresh leeks, and they'll probably stay in the ground for a little while longer yet. We can start using these, and they will get bigger if I leave them longer. But I did notice a couple of them I'm now sending up these little seed pods. So I need to keep an eye on that, because once they've produced those, they tend not to be swelling up the base, so that the plant has actually sort of reached its term, is sending out the seed will fall and the plant will die back. So at that point you're going to start having spoiled leeks. So yeah, we get on and use these. I'm not too sure if you can freeze them. I'm almost certain you can freeze leeks, so maybe we can dice them into pieces, dice them into little 1-inch pieces and put them in the freezer. I'll have to check on that, guys, but I'm almost certain we can freeze leek. Well, what else have we got? A few spring onions, a few old lettuces left on the side there. I've got some chard down there, and on top of that chicken house, I don't know if you can make it out, the sunlight might stopping you from seeing. There's some chard in trays on top of there that I was going to pop into this ground down here this afternoon, so I'll get on and do that. And you know, I was going to lift those shallots up there, but I still haven't had the chance, because the day I was going to do it, it was absolutely pouring with rain and I couldn't do it. Excuse me. You have to excuse me, guys, I think I just swallowed a fly. Bit of protein never hurt anybody, but I wasn't expecting to be eating any wildlife this afternoon. Just wanted to show you down here, because these shallots now are ideal. They're ready now. As you can see, that one's just easily broken off. I'll just pull those apart, and these now, they're very wet at the moment. They need to be dried out, but I'll pull those out of the ground and separate them. And we don't want that piece of grass there, that can go. But these shallots, you see, I can pull them apart, separate them. I'm trying to hold the camera at the same time, but they can be separated and spread out and dried, and then we will top and tail them and pickle them. Look at these are amazing. They're a good size, and as I said, they're a bit damp at the moment, but they'll soon dry out once I get them out of the ground. There they go, you see. Easy to do, just pull them off, separate them, and I'll lie those out in the sun if we get some. We've got a bit of sunshine at the moment, guys, but honestly, it's just been mostly wet. I don't know if anyone else has struggled. It'd be interesting to hear how you've all coped with this weather, because I do believe it's countrywide. It's not just up here. But there you go, pulling a few shallots. So we'll get the weeds out of the way while we're here. This is the only corner with weeds at the moment. I don't know why. Maybe because I've just left it during the season. I haven't done much to it other than just keep an eye on the shallots, guys. But
You see, they're easy to do. Just get hold of them. Now all the foliage has died back. Now my father used to say he used to wait until they go brown like that. All the foliage has died off. Then he used to lift them, dry them in the sun, and pickle them. And to be honest, they were some of the most delicious pickled onions I'd ever had. And my grandfather was the same. Nan and Grandad, they always had lovely pickled onions. He was the same. I always remember helping him pickle, or pull them actually, put them in the sun, and then I used to help Nan pickle them, put them in jars. She used to get sweetie jars from the local shop. You know the big jars you used to get the sweets in? You could buy £1/4 pound of sweets in from, as it were, in the shop. Well, she used to get those and fill them with pickled onions. Daisy there, she's trying to get in on the act here today. Hello, Daisy. Hi. Say hello to the viewer. You're telling us a story. Yes. You've been getting all sorts of bits and pieces from the garden, haven't you? Yeah. All right, sweetheart. Well, what have we got down here now? Pumpkin. This is a pumpkin. Somewhere. God, I showed you the last time, didn't I, guys? There was here we go, down here. This one here has got a pumpkin set behind it. Got my wires in the way there. There we go. So this flower's got a pumpkin set behind it. There was a couple more in here I noticed, and there's a couple on this other plant over the back. So yeah, we get a few pumpkins off of these. I do love the pumpkin relish. We grow them for soup and relish, and they're absolutely wonderful. Yeah, so just got caught off there, guys. The phone's acting up. I'm using a software that allows me to use this microphone. It's a plug-in microphone, and it picks up my voice and puts it onto the video as I'm recording. But I have a lot of bother with it, and the file size on the software is somewhat limited. Every now and again it turns itself off, and I don't realise. So I'm chatting away to you, and nothing's being recorded. So I have to be very cautious what I'm doing here. You can probably see my shadow on the floor there. The sun is directly behind me now, looking back across the plot. What I was going to do is have a little nosy in the greenhouse just to see what's happening in here. And there's my other chili plants and pepper plants on the back shelf. I've got some down on the floor. And look at the holes on these. I had no idea this was like this, guys. This is a surprise for me. I have no idea what's doing this. Ah, now we do, you see. We've got on the back of there, you see those caterpillars? Some sort of moth caterpillar larvae there. So I need to come in and remove those because they are starting to eat the leaves on my chilies. That's not very good. I had no idea that was occurring. So a little disappointed having discovered that. Got a few lovely flowers in here. These are my dwarf asters. I had a few left over. They're sitting here. They provide me with a little bit of colour. I suppose I should find somewhere to put these. I might put them in a container or something and put them out by the front door or something like that. They're pretty little flowers. And I've got some dried garlic there. And I think if we keep getting all this rain, I'm going to have to dry the shallots in here as well. The garlic's fine. It's absolutely perfectly dry. I still need to clean it up and string it up, but it's absolutely fine. In fact, we did use one of those the other day. We used one of these in our cooking, and it was quite delicious. And over the road here, if I can get across without tripping over, we can pop in here. We've got a few more chilies lying about, and tomatoes. And I got quite a few lovely tomatoes coming on. You can see them in there. I've got several in here now. So I'm very pleased, looking forward to these ripening. And I've let them grow quite tall. They go up into the top of the this wooden shed stroke greenhouse here. But I might have to top them out. Now I have topped that one off already, but this side shoot seems to be going high. So I need to tackle that. That needs to come out. And so I've got a few jobs to sort out once I let you guys go this afternoon. Well, just catching the strawberries in. That we got some strawberries down here, guys. It's sending out a runner, and I've just shut the runner in the door of the greenhouse. My goodness me, proper calamity this afternoon. Right, well, there's the chard I was talking about. I'm going to be putting this out over there later on, and having a good tidy up, de-weed,
and anything that's running to seed, I think I'm just going to have to take it out now. Some of it I've been giving to Daisy. She's been getting a few things, but it's just unsightly and it's a mess, and there's not a lot left on there now that we can harvest and use, so it needs a good tidy up. And those beetroots as well, definitely need to lift those now, certainly the good size ones. I mean, look at this tall one on the left here. This one's gone huge. I don't know what the state of play is at the bottom. I'll have a look, but it's all run to seed, but ready to harvest and pickle those, so I'm looking forward to that. Guys, look, it's been a very quick tour of the vegetable plot. Lots of things happening, lots of things going on that I'm not particularly happy about. What with pests on the cabbages, pests on my chilies, and I see I've got a few holes in leaves down here, so there's some pests attacking the bottom of the beans as well. I need to check out what that is, but most of that is actually down to the fact that I haven't been out here as often as I'd like to be. The weather has kept me away, plus a few other commitments, family commitments, and other things I've been doing, plus a bit of work. So you know what it's like, you got all the good intentions, but you just don't get the opportunity to sort things out. A final look at the sweet peas here, because these are absolutely gorgeous. They're in a little tub hanging on the side of the shed, and they've been producing loads and loads of beautiful fragrant flowers this year. Every time I'm down here, all I can smell is the fragrance of these wonderful sweet peas. Well, that's a nice note to finish on, guys. Right, guys, well, I'm gonna have to crack on. I'm sure you've got other things to do, and I'll let you go, but whatever you're doing, you be safe, all right? You be happy, take care of yourselves now, and don't forget to come back and see us soon. Always nice to see you. It'd be lovely if you popped in, and don't forget to subscribe, and that way, and ring the bell. That way you will keep updated with what I'm doing down here. And if I do lift those beetroots and pickle them, I will take the camera, I will be filming what I'm doing and show you guys how I go about sorting those, and in fact the shallots. So when I'm pickling, putting things in jars, I'll show you how we go about doing that. Look, take care of yourselves, guys. Thanks for popping in, and we'll see you soon. Bye bye now. One last thing before you go, guys. I wanted to show you the pigeons in the pear tree. It's not quite in focus. I'll see what I can do for you. And yeah, everything seems to be going well here. There is 2 chicks, or there have been 2 chicks seen in this nest. It's a bit difficult to film it today. As I said, it's quite windy out there today, and these branches are blowing around. She is facing the other way, which makes it difficult to see as well, so you can't see the chicks popping out from underneath her breast there. But he and she have been swapping roles throughout the day. He will come in, take over, she will get off and go away for a while, and she's back and he goes. So they keep swapping, and they're sharing the duties of looking after the chicks and fetching food, I assume, and getting themselves fed and watered at the same time, I should think. So yeah, just a final thing. See the pigeons in the plum tree. I nearly said pear tree, guys. Pigeons in the plum tree, and all is well at the moment. So a little update on those before you go.